Hey, listen, if you're just coming in here, I'm about to unload it all. This is gonna be, guys, my seven tips for you guys to get to your first 7 figures in sales commissions. I want you to listen to this, okay? I've trained well over 2 million plus salespeople from all around the world, over 700 plus events, online and offline. And I think I know what I'm talking about when it comes time to training sales individuals, regardless of the product, offer, or service that you sell, whether it's online, offline, whether it's B2B sales, guys, B2C sales, insurance sales, medical sales, real estate sales, coaching, consultant, thought leaders, direct sales, network marketers, small to medium-sized businesses, large businesses, the list goes on. These 7 tips, okay, will be applicable in every single sales industry. I'm gonna cut right through the fluff and I wanna dive into it right now, starting off with the first one right now. The law of averages inside of sales. Can you write this down? The law of averages inside of sales. See, most people say, well, you just gotta work your numbers inside of sales. So you work your numbers inside of sales. And one of your coaches tells you, hey, 1 in every 50 people are actually gonna pick up and say, yes, I'm interested, I wanna book a meeting. So you go through your first 50 people. Nobody says yes. Your mentor says, hey, be consistent and be persistent. So you go through your next 50 people, nobody says, yes, I want to book a meeting. You go through your next 50 people, nobody says, yes, I want to book a meeting. You're one day and 150 people say no. You go to the next day, day 2 in your sales job, 50 people, nobody says yes. 50 people, nobody says yes. You're 250 people in. You go to your next 50 people, nobody says, yes, I want to book a meeting. You're 300 people in now, 2 days. The next day, and I think some of you guys can relate with me right now, regardless of what you sell. The next day, you call on 50 people, you send out 50 messages, 350, nobody says yes. 400, nobody says yes. 450, nobody says yes. 491, 492, 493, 495, still nobody says yes. You are now fed up. Now, I want you guys to look at the situation. Regardless, if you go up to your mentor or your sales leader and you say, I just want to quit right now, or maybe you're about to quit inside of your own head because nobody told you that it's the law of averages inside of sales. You have to play to the law of averages, guys. What does that mean? That means you stay long enough, it's going to average out to what your mentor, your sales leader told you, 1 in 50, but maybe you quit at 495, 496, 97, 98, 99, and 500. All those 5 were about to be yeses, but you quit right at 494, 495. It's a law of averages. See, guys, listen, in sales, you stay long enough, you win. You stay long enough inside of sales, you win. You stay long enough in the casino, guess what happens? You lose. The casino works just like your sales business. They know it's a business. If you stay, see, you might win in the beginning of the casino, you're getting tricked. But you stay long enough in the casino, you think you won. Stay there throughout the whole night, you're about to get rinsed, shampooed, and leave the casino with nothing left. Why? It's a law of averages. Maybe in the beginning you got some 50-50 odds, but you stay long enough, they're a business. You stay long enough in the casino, you will lose. No, but Dano, I went to the casino yesterday and I won yesterday. Go back there second day, third day, fourth day. You're about to lose all your money, and that's how the casino stays in business. You have to understand that inside of your business, step number 1, it all falls down to the law of averages. You stay long enough, the numbers work out. You don't quit inside a business. You don't quit inside of life. If you want to have a baby, you can't make love once. You can't make love once. Guess what you got to do? You got to keep making love. You got to keep making love until boom, you have a fucking baby. See, the beauty about sales is this. You can never control the timing in which something happens inside of your business. You can only control the efforts that get you towards a result inside of your business, but you can never control the timing of your results. Sometimes it might happen a little bit earlier. Sometimes it might happen a little bit later, but 9 times out of 10, it never happens on when you expect it to happen. It happens a little bit earlier. It happens a little bit later. You have a different timing than everybody based on so many factors, based on your building blocks when you came inside of the business. Maybe you've never been in sales. Maybe you've been in sales. Maybe you don't work as many hours. Maybe you have some skill building blocks. Maybe you don't have some skill building blocks. You have to play out to the law of averages. Step number 1. Point number 2, all the money is made, guys, inside of sales in the hidden hours. That's it. All your money is made in the hidden hours. That means the shown hours, which is 9 to 5, that's not where the money is made inside of sales. All the money will be made inside of sales from 6 to 12 o'clock at night, to 1 o'clock at night, to 1:30 at night. Guys, we're in the office 2 days ago. We're setting up this new office. We're having some cigars here in the back. One of my sales presidents, Jamil, gets a text message. Hey man, are you free for a call tomorrow? Now the average sales rep, I said my president of sales, that's why he's the president of sales. The average sales rep says, yeah, let's book in a call tomorrow. It's already 1:30, I'm having a cigar with the boys. Hey, he texts him back. By the way, okay, he makes tens of thousands of dollars in commissions and overrides every single month, sometimes every single week. He texts the guy and says, hey, by the way, you free for a call right now? Jumps on a call, closes out a call, and I'll elaborate on this story actually maybe in a couple other points. Closes out the call at 2:30 a.m. Yeah, everybody wants to be in the person's position until they realize what it takes to be in the person's position. And then when they don't want to do what it takes to be in that person's position, they point fingers as to why they can't be that person. And they point fingers to that person as to why they can't be that person. Let me say that again. 2:30 a.m., he closed out a deal. Does he need to close out the deal at 2:30 a.m.? I'm sure, okay, if he wanted to, he could have kicked back because he didn't need the $1,000, the $500 in commissions. But guess what he says? Number one, yes, law of averages, number one, timing. But number two, here's what he's saying. All the money is made in the hidden hours. This job, I promise you, and if some of you guys are watching me right now and you guys are part-timers inside of sales, you will beat majority of fake full-timers. See, there's either real full-timers, there's fake full-timers, or there's all-in part-timers. If you're an all-in part-timer, you will beat majority of the fake full-timers inside of sales. All-in part-timers know this, that all your money inside of sales, majority of people, if you ask them if they're real estate agents, direct sales reps, network marketers, hey, when were your best deals made? They're always after 6 o'clock, so what are you talking about? You wanna go broke inside of sales? Treat it like a 9-to-5 job. All your money will be made from 6 to midnight or maybe 1:30 a.m. number one, okay? And on the weekends. That's it. It's called the hidden hours of sales. That's called being an all-in part-timer. That it's okay if you can't work from 9 to 5. Don't, I can't, work as, even if you're in this gig, okay, and you can only work it from 6 to 11, if you're all in, if you're not doing the task just to say you did the task, and you're working the hidden hours, and by the way, if you're a real full-timer, that means you're really going in 9 to 5 and you're optimizing 6 to 12 o'clock at nighttime. Because that's, you're making, all my money was made in all my businesses, especially if you're in a B2C business where you're serving, customers with programs, courses, retail, direct selling, physical products. All your money will be made after 6 and on the weekends. The problem is that most people kick it back on the weekends and then they don't get back into flow Monday and Tuesdays. How do you know your best customer wasn't right around the corner at 6:30 p.m., but you gave up at 5? How do you know? Most people quit right before the magic happens. And the problem is this, is that, if you don't know that all your money is made from 6 to 12 o'clock at nighttime, from 6 to 1:30 a.m. at nighttime, you don't optimize your day from 9 to 5. So what I mean by optimizing your day is, maybe you burn out and you exhaust yourself because you eat some crap lunch at 12 p.m. and you get full and then you knock out. So by 4 p.m. you're tired. Maybe you got to eat light during the day. Okay. Maybe you can't take four caffeine shots or 2 coffees every 3 hours because then you're going to have a heavy crash or high sugars. You got to optimize and know that you will beat everybody inside of your sales industry and inside of your sales organization when you work in the hidden hours, which is 6 till midnight, and it's on the weekends. The weekends and the hidden hours, the 6 to 12 and the weekends expose your business. Okay? You could talk a big game inside of your business, but nothing will expose your sales business more than the way you show up on the weekends. That's it. Point number 3 on my 7 tips, hit 7 figures in commissions, skills. The question becomes, what skills do you focus on? What skills do I focus on? Everybody says skills because I believe it's a numbers game and it's a skills game. And you become a beast when you mix in both of those together, right? Like the moment you start working your number, you're going to start getting a little bit better. The moment you start getting a little bit better, your closing rate will go up, okay? You can do, less amount of work and get the exact same results. Maybe not 1 in 50, now you contact 1 in 25 and somebody says yes to you. The moment you identify that your skills went up and the process is working is the moment you identify to double down the numbers. But watch this, the question becomes, what skills do I truly focus on? If I just start inside of a business, what skills, Daniel, do I truly focus on to absolutely smash it inside of sales? I'm gonna tell you the number 1 skill. This is the first thing. If I had to go back 10, 15, 16 years actually, At my first direct selling job, my number one skill that I would focus on is figuring out what to say when somebody says no to my product. I would figure out how to deal with objections when somebody says no to my product. Why? Because the moment you know what to say when somebody says no to your product, the moment everything increases, not just your closing, but your prospecting, your actions, and your energy. Why? Because when you know what to say when somebody says no to your product, you will be inclined to prospect more people. Let me say it again. Number one, the number one skill is to learn how to deal with objections inside of sales is because the moment you become a master at objection handling, it's completely correlated to prospecting. If you know what to say to everybody, you'll go up to everybody and talk to them. If you don't know what to say when somebody says no to you, your energy will be low and you won't want to prospect people. The level of which you can deal with an objection is the level of which you prospect inside of your business. I promise you this. If you don't know how to deal with, no, thank you, I'm not interested, I don't do things like this, I need to speak to my spouse, let me do some research, send me over some information, is something like this a scam? How do I know this actually works out? Are the results guaranteed? Can I do it in payment plans? I don't have the money right now, I'm not interested, I'm too busy, call me back, get off my lawn. If you don't know how to deal with all of those, you won't talk to people. The lack of preparation with objections is the lack of prospecting inside of your business. Of course, if you don't know what to say when somebody tells you, I'm too busy, call me back, you won't want to make the cold call. And guys, by the way, if you just watch me right now, I just fired off 15 objections like I was rapping Eminem inside of sales. That's all it is. It's just 15. It's just 15 objections. 15, 20, I don't know, maybe you could squeeze out of me 25. Hey, some people watching this may have studied a different language. You may have studied Japanese. You may have studied Spanish. You may have studied English. That is much harder than 25 lines to say to an objection. You want to go a level deeper, then you could deal with an objection twice. Then you could deal with the same objection 3 times. But all I'm saying right now, the number one skill in sales is to figure out how to deal with objections inside of sales. Figure out what to say when somebody says no to you. Before that, you will be getting paid mediocre inside of your sales business. You'll have low energy, you'll have low confidence, you won't want to talk to nobody, and you'll get paid something called tour guide money. Tour guide money means this, that you just show people and you're an information provider of your business. You just provide information. Hey, yeah, so look at my products. These are my beauty products. This is the home. What do you think about it? You are a tour guide of your product. You just show people around. You're just a travel guide. Oh yeah, so this is what we got going on today. And you get paid tour guide money. What do they get paid? $10, $15, $20 max an hour? You are a customer service rep until you know how to deal with a no. Prior to you dealing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 no's on a conversation, you are a customer service rep, you are a tour guide, and you just show everybody your product and you get tour guide money. After you deal with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 no's, that's when you make 7 figures inside of sales. All the money is made after you deal with the no, not before you made the no. The crazy thing is, you guys might be watching this video right now, and all those objections, which we'll make future videos on, all those objections that I just lifted off, you would be like, yeah, but what else is it? That's it right there. You get paid when you know how to master the no. Regardless if it's from me or somebody else, you must master it. Before that, you become a tour guide. The moment you deal with the no, you actually become a closer inside of your business. Point number 4, sell how you buy. Oh, I wish somebody told me this, guys. Sell how you buy. Sell how you buy. You could become great at sales if you're conscious the way you buy products, offer, and services. You are a buyer 24/7. You ever heard this, sell to others as you would like to be sold? You ever hear that? Like the golden rule of sales. I don't know who formulated that. Sell how you buy. You know how you like buying things. The thing is, we don't monitor that. Sell how you buy. Figure out the states of how you buy. Okay, if you start watching how you buy as a buyer and you start going into the brain of you as a buyer, sales becomes easy. It's not figuring out, okay, the most perfect script always. It's figuring out the brain of you as a buyer, because then you can figure out the states and then where you are in the states. And then sales becomes super easy. You figure out how you buy. Watch how you buy products. When you go into a retail store, when you shop for a car, when you shop for real estate, watch what states you're in, because it's a dance. And there's only a few different ones. Watch how you buy. I'm gonna give you 3 of them right now. Number 1, you're either super defensive and you don't wanna buy nothing. Number 2, okay, you over-exaggerate to the salesperson, pretending like you're gonna buy something so they show you the price, okay, or they just get away and they just give you all the golden bullets. Or number 3, you're ready to buy. See, when you monitor how to buy, that's literally what you go through. Number 1, you're either defensive, you're saying, no, thank you, I'm not shopping for anything. Number 2, you either over-exaggerate, or number 3, you're actually ready to buy. See, the more you study how you buy and what state you're in, the easier it is when you get inside of sales to figure out, okay, which one of the 3 states is my customer in? Are they super defensive? Are they over exaggerating because they don't want to make me feel bad and they wanted me to get to the price? Or number 3, are they just actually ready to buy and I'm over talking, I'm over gonna shoot the deal? Guys, you could become so good at sales that everything you're about to buy, you buy 5, 10, 15, 20 items a day. Uber Eats this. Watch how you get branded to. Watch how you say yes. Watch how you get marketed to. Figure that out and put it back. That's called empathy inside of sales. Sell how you buy. Figure out the state you're in, why you say yes to certain products, and incorporate that into your sales process. Point number 5, this is the craziest one right now, okay? You sell. Point number 5, you sell. Somebody asked me, well, man, how do I get so good at sales? You sell. How do you get good at business? You do business. How do you get good on camera? You do camera. Guys, we don't have to do some crazy edits on this video right now. You want to know why? I do camera a lot. How do you get good at kissing? You kiss. You don't become a good kisser by watching other people kiss. He was so good at making love. Why do you think? Because he made love a lot of times. How do you get good at sales? You sell. The more you sell, the better you get. You sell consciously. You're self-reliant when you sell. You watch yourself when you sell, but you sell. You can't get good at sales by watching other people sell or watching YouTube videos. You got to go out there and actually sell. You get good when you sell. You get good by your level of action. You sell. It's the easiest thing in the world. How many times have you sold today is the question. When you're watching this video and you say you're all in, how many times have you sold? How many times have you said hi to somebody and attempted to get their contact information and book a meeting? You sell. It's the number 1 rule of sales. You sell. So simple. Point number 6 is this. Fortune is in the amount of attempts on the first conversation. Fortune is not in the follow-up. Let me say that one more time. Fortune is in the amount of attempts on the first conversation. Fortune is not in the follow-ups. You've been sold and I've been sold, and I started sales training when I was young. Fortune's in the follow-up. Follow up until they buy or die. Okay, yes. Fortune is only in the follow-up when you haven't attempted multiple times on one conversation. The problem is that when you sold yourself that fortune's in the follow-up, you stop your level of attempts on the first conversation. So when somebody says no to you once, maybe you deal with it once or twice, and you say, but fortune's in the follow-up, so let me book a meeting. You've already killed your energy in the first conversation. Fortune is in the amount of attempts, and if you don't close the deal after 4, 5, 6, 7 attempts, then fortune becomes inside of the follow-ups. But fortune is in the amount of attempts on the first conversation. Just like I said, when you prospect people, it's in the law of averages. The same thing. It's a law of attempts inside a business. Fortune is in the amount of attempts, the law of attempts. The more attempts you do on one conversation, the less follow-up that you have to do, after post-conversation, because the more attempts that you do on the first conversation. What a shame it would be, guys. If you actually brand, market, promote, and prospect, you get a lead to say, yes, I want to book a meeting with you. Then that lead gets on a meeting with you. Think of all the work that you've done. That person says, no, thank you, I'm not interested, or I need to speak to my spouse, and you attempt not even once. You just disrespected all the work. What was the point of doing all the work if you just said, okay, well, are you free next week? Because you're already thinking fortune's in the fall. No, fortune's in the amount of attempts that you do on the first conversation. It's the amount of times that you can go back inside the conversation without them feeling pressured. It's the amount of times you can loop back inside of the conversation without the prospect feeling like they're pressured. It's in the amount of attempts when the prospect doesn't realize it's even an attempt. Let me say that again. It's the amount of attempts when the prospect doesn't even realize it's an attempt. See, the stat is this inside of generic sales industries is, oh, you got to follow up with somebody 6, 7, 8, 9 times before you get a deal. Why has nobody ever said you got to attempt with somebody on one conversation 6, 7, 8, 9 times? And if you don't get the deal, maybe you'll cut in the follow-up process the second, maybe you follow up with them 2 or 3 times. Because the truth of the matter is this, if you don't attempt, listen to me, the fortune's in the amount of attempts, and I'll tell you why. Even if you go inside a follow-up, imagine if you're following up on the wrong objection and it's not the true and tried objection. Let me say that again. Imagine if you're following up on the wrong objection and it's not the true and tried objection. Imagine you followed up on the first objection when they said, I don't have the money, and you keep following up with them. Oh, so did you get paid? Well, the rule of follow-up is follow up on the number one thing that was the barrier on the first conversation. So imagine if you're following up with a smokescreen. Of course, you're going to need 80 to 20 follow-ups because you haven't got the true and tried objection on the first conversation. because you haven't attempted 3 to 4 times to figure out the actual objection. So actually, when I say fortunes in the attempts, even if you don't get the close on the first call, it makes follow-up a lot easier. But fortune, all the fortune is made on all the attempts on the first call. Fortune is made in closing. Fortune is not made in the follow-up. Fortune is made on closing a deal when somebody says yes to you. Fortune is in the amount of attempts. And I believe you are weak if you attempted anything in one conversation less than 3 times. They said, no, thank you. Right now is not a good time. I don't have the money right now. I need to think about it. And you dealt with that 3 times to figure out at least, number 1, what the true and tried objection is. Number 2, okay, that actually means you're a productive sales rep. A productive sales rep is completely correlated to the amount of attempts that you do on the first conversation. If you want to deem yourself as being productive, that is completely correlated to your level of attempts. Some people say they made the calls and some people actually can make the calls. And making the calls means you have attempted 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. That's a productive sales rep. That's called actually selling, okay? That's called not insulting all the work that you did in order to get that lead. Fortunes in the amount of attempts. Here's number 7. You ready for this? The last one. People say yes to you before they say yes to your product. Guys, cement that one inside of your notebook. People will always commit to people that are more committed to themselves. People will always buy from people that can lead them better than they can lead themselves. Your company is not a representation of you. You are a representation of your company. If you think your company represents you, you are wrong. You represent your company. The way you show up at the door, how your shirt looks, your hygiene, the way you smell, the way you look, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you can deal with objections. If you are clean in your language, clean in your posture, people will buy you before they buy the business. Doesn't matter. Everybody talks about, we have the best products here, we have the best business plan here, we have the best marketing here. They buy you. You're a representation of the business. If you're in door-to-door sales and you're sloppy, your language is sloppy, you stutter a lot, you screw up a lot, the way you look is sloppy, your hygiene is off. They're thinking, man, if I buy from this guy and this guy's selling me roofing, and he's sloppy, imagine how the customer service is. The customer service is sloppy because you represent the company, right? You're the front end line if you're sales. The customer service is sloppy. The guy on my roof is gonna fall off. I don't wanna buy from this company because you're a representation of it. And you might think it's your company representing you, but you represent your company. They buy you, they say yes to you before they say yes to the business, before they say yes to the products, before they say yes to the marketing, the customer service, they say yes to you. And what that means is this, you gotta have everything in line. Everything. I'm not going to we could do a whole separate video on this. How to become a person where people want to say yes to you. That's a whole separate video actually, guys, we got to make. How to become a person where everybody wants to say yes to that person. Because it doesn't matter if you put me in Antarctica, okay, when you guys, oh, my product is saturated, the economy is saturated. No. Daniel G is selling in Antarctica. Drop me off in Antarctica and I'm selling. I don't know what I'm selling. I'm selling tours for people to come to Antarctica because I freaking love Antarctica. There's peace in Antarctica. Antarctica is a hidden gemstone that nobody talks about. I'm pulling out the cameras. People are buying me before they buy Antarctica. So let me ask you a person. Are you a person? Let me ask you a question. Are you a person that people would say yes to you? By the way, would you even say yes to you? Take yourself out of your body for a second and say, hey, would I even say yes to myself? Would I say yes to myself? The way I look, the way I dress, the way I talk, my hygiene. How do you smell? Is there garlic in your mouth and you smell like you just like a firing garlic dragon? Did you put on deodorant? Did you shower? Is your hair done up? How's your beard? Did you trim it? Nobody talks about hygiene. How's your language inside of sales? How fast are you inside of sales? Are you friendly? And at the same time, can you lead? Are you a person that you would say yes to? Become a person that people say yes to. Point number 7. Guys, if you like this, there's only one thing that I want you guys to do right now in this video, okay? We're just kicking off YouTube right now. It's completely free. All I want you guys to do, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.